Hello everyone and welcome to our Managing Healthy Habits webinar. My name is Rachel Cox. I am a trainer here at JMC. I've been with JMC for about 2.5 years. I am a lead on our resources team, which means I write a lot of those articles that you use to help guide you through all of the processes that you do on a daily basis in JMC. And today I am joined by Jody. Jody, would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jody Schott. I live up in the Brainerd Lakes area in Minnesota, and I am going on my third year with JMC, and I am the lead for the new school onboarding, and I'm also on the forms team.
All right, thanks, Jody. Okay, we'll kick things off here. Your health office handles a lot, from tracking immunizations to logging medications. JMC's health module is here to help streamline all tasks related to preventative and emergency care, keeping students healthy and happy. Grab a few shortcuts for maintaining up-to-date immunization records using the health module. We'll also cover how to run immunization compliance checks to stay in step with the state, as well as create crystal clear health questions during online registration for a safe and smooth school year. So we'll start by updating student immunizations. And in JMC, there's two ways to update student immunization. So you can update an immunization by an individual student, one at a time, or you can bulk import immunization information. So we're going to start with entering a student's immunization details. Health professionals can easily manage student immunization records in JMC by selecting vaccines from a predefined list and entering key details such as dosage, validity, and comments. This streamlined process supports compliance with state requirements and helps promote the health and safety of every student. To edit a student's immunization data, go to Health, Immunizations, Edit Student Immunizations. The first step, select the student to be edited by entering their name in the Find field. And step 2, click the Add Row link to enter a new immunization record for the selected student. Step 3, select the appropriate vaccine from the immunization drop-down list to record that the student has received that immunization. Then you'll want to enter a date in the Date field or click the calendar icon to indicate when the immunization was administered. Step 5, select the appropriate exemption status from the exemption drop-down list if the student is exempt from receiving that vaccine. So that's an optional field. You can leave that one blank if you don't need to enter an exemption status. Step 6, select the appropriate amount from the dosage drop-down list to indicate the level of vaccine the student received, such as a full dose or a double dose. And step 7, again optional, you can place a check mark in the Administered at School checkbox to indicate the vaccine was given on site at the school. So like if you have a flu shot clinic or something like that at your clinic or at your school, you can enter that here. Helpful tip, to mark an immunization as invalid for compliance purposes, remove the check mark from the immunization as valid checkbox to indicate that the immunization does not meet state requirements. Step 8, keep track of additional immunization details by entering notes in the source comments field to maintain complete and accurate student records. Step 9, click the update link to save the immunization record or click the cancel link to discard your changes. And step 10, you can click the print button to save or print a PDF of the selected student's immunization records or click the export button to generate a CSV file. Helpful tip, need to update an existing record? Click the edit link to modify the entries fields or click the delete link to remove the immunization record entirely. And then we'll talk quickly here about importing immunizations. The health module in JMC Office provides a convenient solution for tracking student immunizations. Health professionals can import immunization records directly from a state database or enter them manually and then run reports in the health module to keep students healthy and safe and to maintain compliance with state regulations. Viewing this webinar on YouTube, in the description for the video, you'll see a little more link and you'll have a link to the PDF of these slides. And these links right here are live links. So it will take you to the instructions for importing the immunizations in your state. So state specific instructions right here, click on your state and you'll be able to import those immunizations. So let's take a live look at entering a student's immunization details. Okay, here we go. So from your home screen, and I'm actually gonna get into the upcoming school year here. From your home screen, you're gonna wanna come to the health module here and then immunizations, and we'll edit a student's immunizations. So I'm gonna maybe find a student here. Oh, we've got a lot of immunization records. Okay, here's one. We can add a row. We'll add another immunization. So on this drop-down list, this is where you have those those like state defined, I don't suppose it's state defined, federal defined, FDA defined immunizations are all right here. So all of those immunizations that students need for school will be listed. So you can just come in, find the one that was administered to the student, and then you can find the date of the immunization, and you'll notice that the current date fills in here. So the date that you create this record will automatically populate, but that's not necessarily the date that the student got the immunization. So maybe they were in last week in the doctor's office, got their immunization. Oh, I went a little too far here. Here we go. And so I'm going to put like July 28th. If a student is exempt from an immunization, that's where you can put that exemption status here. Otherwise, you can change the dosage if it was a double dose or a half dose or something to that effect. If it's administered at school, which is not really common, but if that is the case, you can put a check mark there. And then this immunization is valid. This is automatically, it's defaulted as checked because most of the immunizations are. If they found out at a later date that there was something wrong with it or something to that effect, then you could come back in here and uncheck that box. If you have any comments about that immunization, you can go ahead and put them in this field right here. And then once you hit update, then that immunization is on that student's health record. So pretty easy process. Jody, is there anything else you'd like to add about student immunizations?
Nope, that's pretty much as easy as it is to add them.
Yeah, all right. And we'll just keep moving along here. We got a lot to cover in this health webinar, so we'll just keep kind of trucking through. Now we'll talk about medical emergency plans next. Create, update, and share emergency plans for students with allergies and other medical conditions to help keep them safe. Enter critical health details, upload supporting documents, and grant teacher access so staff are prepared to respond quickly and appropriately in an emergency. With accurate, up-to-date information in JMC, your team can provide timely, informed care when it matters most. To get started creating a medical emergency plan for a student, head to Health, Medical Emergency Plan, edit Student Medical Emergency Plan. Step 1, enter a student's name in the Find field to create or update the student's medical emergency plan. Step 2, this is an optional step. You can click the Import from Prior Year button to populate the medical emergency plan field with the student's medical emergency plan from the previous year. So if you're a new school to JMC, you'll have to enter that student's medical emergency plan in the first time, but then next year, if nothing has changed in that emergency plan, or even if there are some minor changes, you can just import it from the previous year, make those updates as you need without having to start from step 1. Next, you'll want to enter the student's medical emergency plan in the field provided to communicate important health details that your district team may need during an emergency. Helpful tip, customize the student's medical emergency plan by inserting web links, changing font, color, size, style, anything else. Like up here you can see we've highlighted that the student needs to be in a nut-free classroom. Anything to like draw the eye to the most important pieces of this medical emergency plan. Step 4, click the Add Record link to upload and attach documents with detailed emergency care instructions to build out the student's medical emergency plan. And then you'll want to place a check mark in the Share with Teachers checkbox to give teachers access to student medical emergency plan in JMC Teachers. So this is an important step. If you check this box here, then teachers will see that a student has a medical emergency plan whenever they see that student's name in any kind of class list or anything like that. Step 6, click the Save button to apply your updates to the medical emergency plan. So let's take a look at medical emergency plans. And this is a big one. I get a lot of questions about adding medical emergency plans because it really is an important step. So once again, I'm in the health module here. I'm going to go to Medical Emergency Plan, Edit Student Medical Emergency Plan. So you find your student here by entering their name in the Find field. If they had a medical emergency plan for the previous year, if I click Import from Prior Year, and here it tells me the student didn't have a medical emergency plan in the prior year. So this is where I would go ahead and type in my information. We'll say Abby has a bee sting allergy. And then I can highlight fields, I can make them bold, I can make them a different color. If I wanted to include a link to a website, I certainly could. But one thing that I think is really helpful is you can add records here. So I know at our school, if we had students who had severe allergies and had like an EpiPen that they carried on them, well, anybody who was interacting with that student would go through the EpiPen training, and we would kind of have like an infographic sheet. Well, that information that had been shared with us could be uploaded right here so that we can review that infographic sheet, how to administer an EpiPen, and it would all be available right here on the student's medical emergency plan. But make sure if you're going to share that with teachers so that they have all the information too, you'll just want to put a check mark in that box, and then I can go ahead and save. And now this student will show up, their name will show up on teacher lists as having like the little medical red cross next to it. So teachers can click on that red cross icon, and then they'll see all of the information that you've entered here on the student's medical emergency plan. And that's about it for medical emergency plans. Jody, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Nope, I don't think so.
All right. We'll keep moving forward here, and we'll talk about the medication log. So to start, you have to add a student's medication. The health module in JMC Office simplifies the process of managing student medications. Health professionals can quickly add or edit a student's medication list, recording details like dosage, administration instructions, and more. This allows for accurate tracking, supports safe distribution, and helps monitor inventory levels. Plus, built-in features like low inventory alerts and options to print or export the medication list make it easy to stay organized and responsive. To add or edit a medication record, go to Health, Medication Log, Edit Student Medication, and select the Medications tab. So you can come to Health, Medication Log, Edit Student Medication, and then you start on this Medications tab. So in this section of the webinar, we are kind of going to go through each of these tabs and how they all work together to help you track and administer student medications. So we're starting here on our Medication tab, and then we're going to want to enter the student's name who we're receiving a medication for. So once you find the right student, you click this Add Row button here, and you can place a check mark in the Display Optional Fields checkbox to show and track extra medication details like pharmacy name, prescribing doctor, and prescription number. Step 3, click the Edit button to update the existing medication information for the selected student. Step 4, select a medication from the medication drop-down list to assign it to the student record. And step 5, enter the medication form in the form field. So this is optional, but you can add a little bit more information there by putting the form that the medication is in. Step 6, place a check mark in the notification threshold enabled checkbox and enter a number in the notification threshold field to activate low inventory alerts when a medication supply drops below the amount that you identify here in this notification threshold box. Step 7, enter a date in the submitted field or click the calendar icon to indicate when the medication was submitted to the health office. And again, the current date, the day that you're assigning this medication to the student, that's what will by default load here into that submitted date. I think maybe, did I miss a step on that? Nope, I think I didn't. Okay. Step 8, place a check mark in the as needed PRN checkbox to indicate a medication that should only be administered as needed. A helpful tip, you can place a check mark in the student no longer taking this medication checkbox when a student no longer takes that prescribed medication. Step 10, enter notes in the comments field to document any additional details or instructions for future reference. And step 11, click the update button to save the student's medication or click the cancel link to discard your changes. You can click the print button on the medications tab to print the current student's medication list, or you can export it to a CSV file as well. All right, so we'll take a look at adding student medications. All right, so I'm just going to start from home to kind of orient everybody here, but we're coming to the health module, medication log, edit student medications. So we'll stick with Abby here since we started working with this record. I'm going to click add a row for so I can add a new medication to this student. Once I've done that, I click the edit button and I can start typing in the medication. So let's see here. I'm gonna see if I can type in albuterol. Once you start typing, it does start loading a list for you. Here we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and select one of these. And the form, I'm going to say it's an inhaler. I want to be alerted when there's a low threshold, and maybe I want to know when there are 10 doses left. So this notification threshold, this number is actually in doses. So if, like for this medication up here, Advil, if the dose is 2 capsules, I would want to know when there's 10 doses left, which would actually mean that there are 20 capsules. So keep in mind that that threshold number is the number of doses. And then the date submitted, like I said, it defaults to the current date. And then you can put any comments in here, like this medication should be taken daily before FIAD. And this one is not an as needed medication, so I'm not going to check that. And then if the student was done entirely with this medication, I would check this box here. But just keep in mind, if you do check this box, student no longer taking the medication, and then they start taking it again, you actually have to create a new medication record for that student, because this kind of closes this medication record, and then you would have to open up another one. So once I have this looking the way that I want, I'm going to go ahead and update it. And now this student has 2 medications assigned to them. So this is the student's list of medications. Next, we're going to get into that inventory and how to submit the number of doses that you have and how that's tracked. But any questions, Jody, or shouldn't say questions, any comments or anything that I might be missing, anything you'd like to add about adding a student medication?
No, it's just a great feature to keep track of your medications, and then that dosage is a great way to remind you when you need to reach out to those families when you need more.
Yeah, and keeping track of your medications in JMC, like the inventory is automatically calculated for you, which we're going to get into next, but it simplifies the process, so you're not managing everything on paper. Okay. So like I said, we are going to talk about inventory, but first we're going to talk about defining medications. The health module in JMC Office streamlines medication tracking by providing a robust list of FDA-approved medications. So those were the medications we were just looking at. But it also allows health professionals to add user-defined options like throat lozenges or homeopathic remedies. This flexibility supports accurate record keeping and helps meet the unique care of students. So if there are medications that aren't defined in that FDA list that you have students taking, this system then allows you to add those user-defined medications as well. So to do that, you'd log into JMC Office and navigate to Health, Medication Log, Define Medications to begin adding or editing user-defined medications. The first step is to click the Add Record link to enter a new user-defined medication, or click the Edit link next to an existing entry to make some changes. Step 2, enter the medication name in the name field to define your new user-defined medication. And then you can enter the dosage strength in that strength field to record the amount of medication in a single dose. Step 4, click the update link to save your changes, or click the cancel link to discard the new medication. Helpful tip: to permanently remove a user-defined medication from the log, click the delete link. So we can take a quick look here at defining medications. So again, I'm going to start it from the home page. I'm going to come to Health, Medication Log, Define Medications. So here's the list of user-defined medications that I already have. So I could delete a medication that's no longer being used. I can add a new one right here. I can chapstick. I can't think of a good one right off the top of my head, but I could update that if a student was coming to the health office for chapstick each day, which is an experience that I did have at my school. But you can put these things in here, and once you have a medication, a user-defined medication on this list, then where we were just in the previous step on a student's medication log, then you can also choose from these medications to assign that to a particular student as well. So pretty quick, but it also allows you to kind of customize that medication list for the students that you have in your school. Okay, then we'll move on, and now we'll start talking about recording that medication inventory. So you can keep student medication inventory accurate and up to date with JMC Office. Health and office professionals can log quantities as they arrive, monitor supplies on hand, track administered doses, and easily print inventory reports. This gives your school the complete, reliable records needed for safe medication management and compliance with health protocols. You can go to Health, Medication Log, edit student medication in JMC office to begin logging medication quantities submitted to the health office. So first step, find the student who you need to log that medication inventory for. And then step 2, you click that inventory tab. So this is what I was telling you. We started with medications, we assigned the medications to the student, and now we are going to update the inventory that's being submitted to the health office. Step 3, click the Submit Medication button to update a student's inventory with additional medication doses. Helpful tip, if you need to correct or remove a medication from the inventory, click the Edit link to adjust the existing record or the Delete link to remove it entirely. Step 4, enter the date and time the medication was delivered to the health office in the date and time fields, and again, they'll default to the current date and time. Step 5, select a medication from the medication drop-down list to adjust its inventory quantity. Helpful tip, not seeing the medication you're looking for, click the Medications tab and add the medication to the student's medication list. So the medication first has to be on the list before you can start adding inventory. Step 6, enter the number of doses in the quantity field to update the student's medication inventory. Helpful tip, enter additional comments in the comment field to provide more information about the specific inventory addition, such as what constitutes a dose. For example, like 2 capsules equals 1 dose. Click the OK button to save the medication inventory update, or click the Close button to discard your changes. Helpful tip, customize the medication inventory display by selecting your preferred sort options and view options from the drop-down lists. And step 8, you can click the Print button to print the medication inventory records for the current student, or click the Export button to save the list as a CSV file. So we'll take a look here at recording medication inventory. So I'm in Health, Medication Log, Edit Student Medications. And so we're going to stick with Abby here. We already added the medication under the Medication tab. We're going to come over to Inventory, and I'm going to Submit Medication. So you'll see the current date and time load, and then I now have 2 medications to choose from. So Abby has 2 medications listed in the inventory, or I'm sorry, listed on the medication list. I'm going to choose that albuterol, and I'm going to enter the quantity that was given to me, again, in doses. So if Abby is taking 2 puffs of this inhaler, and I'm going to say usually an inhaler has like 200 puffs on here, I'm going to say that I have 100 doses. So 200 puffs would be 100 doses. So make sure that you're entering that quantity in doses, and then I can make a comment to that effect that Abby should take 2 puffs of the inhaler. And then once I have that all filled in, I click OK, and I can see right here it was submitted on August 5th at 1:37. I see the medication, and I have 100 doses, and the quantity remaining are 100. And as the student comes in and takes it, you can see here with this Advil, every time they take a dose, it will keep that inventory up to date. So that's automatically done for you. No questioning how much you've given versus how much you have, and it's easy for returning those medications at the end of the school year as well. Anything that I'm missing or anything you want to add, Jody?
Nope, just the comments are a great way to record anything that you as a school want to notate. You know, if you want to write that, you know, who brought the medication in, if the student brought it in, and, you know, it just clarifies like when that medication came in, how many came in, who brought it, or any of those different details that you need. It all can be right there, because, you know, it gets busy in the morning, and, you know, if you need that detailed, it's all right there on the screen for you.
Yeah. And, you know, if you're a school that is lucky enough to have a school nurse, they're not always the person that takes the medication, or they're not there necessarily the whole day. So if you're the person taking the medication and you want to make sure that others know all the circumstances around it, that comment field is a great tool so that you can communicate any information about that. Great point, Jody. Thank you. Okay. So now we'll talk about entering scheduled medication appointments. So once we've assigned the medication to a student, we've put in how many doses were delivered, now we can schedule appointments for those students who are taking medications on a regular basis at school. In JMC office, scheduling recurring medication appointments helps provide consistent care for students who take regular medications. Once set, health staff can preview or print daily schedules, log administration times, and note missed doses, all from one place. Keep students safe and streamline your daily medication workflow with this efficient tool. So in JMC office, we're still here in the health module. So you're going to go to health, medication log, edit student medication. So we're still on that same page. And like I said, we're just going to be moving across these tabs. So now we're going to be, you'll find the student, and then you want to be on that appointments tab. Then you want to click the add row button to start scheduling a recurring medication appointment for the selected student. Step 3, click the edit button to modify the details of an existing medication appointment. And step 4, select the appropriate option from the medication drop-down list to specify which medication will be administered during the appointment. Step 5, enter the first appointment date in the start date field or click the calendar icon to select the date. Step 6, enter the time in the time field. So it's 12 p.m. or 8:30 a.m. to specify when the medication will be administered. Then you'll want to enter a value in the dosage field to specify how much medication the student should receive at each appointment. Step 8, enter the end date or click the calendar icon to indicate when the recurring medication appointments should stop. Step 9, select a radio button in the recurrence box to choose how often the appointment repeats. So if it's a daily appointment, if it just happens once, or if it's weekly, you just indicate how often that will happen. And then step 10, click the update button to save the appointment details or click the cancel button to discard your changes. So let's take a look here at entering a scheduled medication appointment. Okay, so again, I'm at health, medication log, edit student medications. We added Abby's medication, we updated the inventory, so now we're coming to this appointments tab. And I am going to click add row. I'm going to edit that new row. And this is going to be an appointment for coming in for that albuterol inhaler. So I'm going to select that medication. The start date, well, it's going to start the first day of school. So let's say we are starting on September 2nd. The time, well, Abby is going to take this before Fayed, and Fayed starts at 10:15. So we'll have Abby come in at 10 a.m., get one dose, and this is going to end, we'll say the last day of school. So we're going to move ahead to May, and May 29th will be the last appointment. We're going to take it daily, every day, and I'm going to click update. So now Abby will have daily appointments starting on the first day of school. Any questions about creating those daily appointments? I'm not sure I'm asking if we have questions. It's just me and you, Jody. Jody, do you have any questions for me or anything you'd like to add?
I do not have any questions for you, Rachel.
Thanks, Jody. Okay. Then the next thing that we're going to look at is recording administered medications for a day. So we've set up the appointments, but now we're going to show how we prove that they've been administered each day. And that's what helps keep that inventory updated every day. The health module in JMC makes it easy to manage those daily appointments by scheduling and recording doses all from one page. View a list of students scheduled to receive medications, log the time a dose was given, or document a missed dose to help maintain accurate inventory and detailed records throughout the day. Enter a medication appointment for a day in JMC office by going to Health, Medication Log, Medication Appointments for a day. Step 1, select a date from the day drop-down list to view all students with scheduled medication appointments for that day. Step 2, click the green check mark next to the student's medication record to log the time it was dispensed and update the appointment status to administered, which automatically updates the inventory. Helpful tip, edit the time listed in the administered column if the medication was dispensed at a different time than what is shown to allow for accurate record keeping. Step 3, which is optional, you can select a reason from the appointment drop-down list to document why a student did not take a medication for the days, if they were absent or if there wasn't any medication left in the health office. Fun fact, documenting missing doses does not affect a student's medication inventory, while administering medication automatically updates the remaining quantity. Step 4, click the Print Medication Appointments for a Day button to create a PDF for your reference or to share with staff who do not have access to the health module in JMC. And while we're on the screen, I'm just going to show you, you can see the remaining quantity here. And if these quantities have met that threshold that we set up at the beginning, this will show up in red. And that's how you'll know that a student is low in their medication inventory. So let's take a look at administering medications for a day. Okay, so from here, I'm going to start from the home page one more time. I'm going to come to Health, Medication Log, Medication Appointments for a day. And I really think that this is an awesome feature in JMC Office. It's super helpful. Everything moves really quickly in there, keeps your inventory up to date, but there's a few reasons why I like it. So first of all, I'm going to come to September 2nd, so we can see that medication for Abby that we've added, right? We've got our inhaler here. So if I come in and I click this green check mark here, it automatically changes this to administered, and it defaults to the date or the time that I clicked the button. So say Abby actually came in at 10 a.m. when they're supposed to, I can then change this to 10 a.m. Maybe I was just busy at the time and I wasn't logged into JMC, but probably not 10 p.m. So 10 a.m. And then it will save that time that I entered. And then the inventory, you can see, has been updated from 100 to 99. If a student isn't there for the day, if they took it at home, or maybe they refused to take it, you can also indicate that as well, so that your records are up to date. But the thing that I really like here is that, like I said, school nurses aren't necessarily always in the nurse's office. Maybe you just have them for a few hours a day or a few hours a week. One thing that's really handy is once you select the day, you can print this medication appointment for a day. You can leave it with the person who might be most likely to interact with those students or administer those medications. They can just mark the day and time that it was done on that printout, and then the health professional can come in and enter this at a later time, because I could even go into yesterday's if I was gone on Monday and I need to go back and log all those medications. So it's really handy. It's customizable. So whether you're in JMC when you're giving the medication and you can just easily hit that check mark, but it's also really easy if you have to go back after the fact and update the appointment log so that you know when and what time students got their medications. So anything that I'm missing here, Jody?
No, it's actually a really easy thing to use.
Mm-hmm.
If you choose to use it.
Yep, exactly. Okay.
So now we're going to talk about utilizing the visit log. So customizing that visit log and those reasons. So accurate student health records are important, and JMC gives you the flexibility to customize health visit logs to reflect your school's unique situations. By adding or editing custom visit reasons, your health office can document every type of student health interaction, even those that don't fit standard categories. This keeps your records complete, relevant, and tailored to your school needs. So, to add your custom health reasons, log into JMC Office and head to Health, Visit Log Reasons. So step 1, you're going to click Add Record link to create a new reason, or click the Edit link next to an existing one to make changes. Helpful tip: preview the predefined Visit Log Reasons list before adding new custom reasons to prevent duplicates. Step 2, enter a new visit reason in the name field to specify the purpose of the student health visit. Step 3, click the Save link to add your reason to the list, or click the Cancel link to discard your changes. Fun fact: once you add a new reason, it will be available on all visit log pages, such as Edit Student Visit Log or Visit Log Query, for consistent tracking across your records. Step 4, click the print button. Click the print button to print a list of visit log reasons for easy reference. Helpful tip: click the delete link to remove a visit log reason you no longer need and keep your list easier to manage. Let's take a look at customizing that log reasons.
All right, so I will start again from that home page, and then we'll come to Health, Visit Log, visit log reasons. All right, so one thing that you said, Jody, I mean, we've got that predefined list here at the top. So before you start entering user-defined reasons, give this list a look through. It's very extensive. It's most likely that you're going to find what you're looking for here, but in the chance that you don't find what you want, that's where you can come in and define your own visit log reasons. So I can edit a reason that's already here, but I can also delete it. Like we can see I've got abdomen here in my defined list, but it's also up here. So I've duplicated that. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that so I don't have a duplicate answer there or a duplicate reason. But if I wanted to add a new one, I just click add record, enter in the name of that visit log reason right here and save it, and then it will add to this list. Anything else, Jody?
Nope, that's pretty easy. That's all it is.
All right. I'll bring you back to the presentation here.
So now we're going to talk about customizing that visit log with those actions. So in the health module, school health professionals can create, edit, or remove custom visit log actions to document the specified care and treatments given during health office visits. These user-defined actions help keep records complete, accurate, and aligned with your school's practice, making it easier to track patterns, report activity, and response to injuries down the road. To add a custom visit log action, log into your JMC office, go to Health, Visit Log Actions. Step 1, click the Add Record link to create a new user-defined visit log action, or click the Edit link next to an existing action to make changes. The helpful tip, review the predefined visit log actions list before adding a new custom action to avoid the duplicates. Step 2, enter the action name in the name field to identify the new visit log action. Step 3, click the Save link to save your action to the list, or click the Cancel link to discard your changes. Step 4, you can click that Print button to print a PDF of your user-defined action log actions for easy reference. Fun fact, once added, the new action will appear as a treatment option on the Edit Student Visit log page for use in the health office. Another helpful tip, click the Delete link next to the action you'd like to remove from the user-defined list log action list. So now we can take a look at customizing those log actions.
All right, so before we were here under health visit log and we were looking at the visit log reasons. So now we're going to look at those visit log actions. And same thing, I think the best piece of advice is look through what is already here. Again, it's a pretty extensive list. So before you start adding those user-defined visit log actions, take a look at what's up here because there's a lot up here. But if there is something that you wanted to add, then you would just click that add record link, type in the name of the action. So remember that action is just a treatment that you're providing for the student in the health office. And once you have that entered, then you can just click save, and then that action will show up here in your user-defined list. Okay. So that's actually where I could put my chapstick that I administered every day.
There you go. Yes.
Okay.
Hey, sometimes you want to keep track of that chapstick.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about recording student health visits in that visit log. So whether it's a major injury or a recurring issue, like those chapstick, JMC students visit log makes it easy to document each health office visit, record the date, the time, the reason, actions taken, and attach supporting documents all in one place. You can also log follow-up details to create complete record of the care. So to enter edited student visit log, head to the health visit log, enter student visit log in the JMC office. Step 1, enter the student's name in the find field to quickly access and manage their health visit records. Step 2, click the add new link to create a new visit log entry, or select an existing visit from the list of visits box and click the edit link to update the details. Helpful tip, customize the display health visits by selecting your preferred sort order and school year, and check the display display deleted records checkbox if you'd like to view removed entries as well. Step 3, enter the date of the health visit in the date field and click the calendar icon to select it. Step 4, enter the time in and time out in the respective fields to record when the visit began and ended. Fun fact, newly added records default to the current time and day, saving you a step of manual entry. Step 5 is optional. Enter the name in the referred by field to identify who directed the student to the health office. Step 6 is another optional. Enter the health professional's name in the seen by field to document who provided the care during the visit. Fun fact, the seen by field automatically fills in the name of the person entering the visit, but you can update it to a different staff member provided care. Step 7, select the appropriate reason for the visit and action taken by choosing from the respective list. Helpful tip, to select more than one, hold the Control key in the Windows or the CMD key in a Mac while clicking. Step 8, use the reason info and action info fields to add brief details up to 20 characters each about the reason for the visit or actions taken. And then step 9, enter additional comments or notes in the comments box to log important details about the visit. Step 10, click the Choose File button to select and attach a file from your computer to the visit log record. Step 11, click the Add File button to upload and attach a file to the health visit record or remove the pending file by clicking the Clear Pending Files button. Step 12, click the Update link to save the changes to the health visit record or click the Cancel link to discard them. Step 13, click the Print button to generate a PDF that can be saved to your computer or printed for later reference. So let's take a live look at that student health visits.
Okay, so we're going to come to that health module, visit log, edit student visit log. So we've got Abby again. So we can see a list of visits here. This 716 visit is all listed here. We could edit details in an existing visit, but let's go ahead and add a new visit. And like Jody said, it defaults to the current date and time. So if you have a kid coming into the health office, once you start adding this visit to the visit log, the current day and time will automatically populate. So you can put the referred by if the student's teacher referred them to the health office, and then seen by, this will populate the username of the person who's logged into JMC office. Reasons, maybe they're coming in, for their arm. What do they need? Maybe they need some aloe lotion and a cold compress. So this is nice because you can select more than one thing. You don't have to limit it to one reason or one action. You can multi-select them. And then if you have, a reason in there, I don't know why you twist your ankle and it was an arm injury. Maybe I should fix that one. You can just say bumped arm at recess. Any additional information that you want to put about the reason and the action. And then if there are some comments about the visit overall, you can track how long the student was in the office. So I can come in here and put my time out. Maybe they were in there for about 10 minutes and they left at 14:07, 2 o'clock. We can put that in there. And then you can upload any file. So if it was a student who has some kind of underlying condition and you need to put something in here, maybe if there was pictures that you took of a bruise or of a fall or something like that, you can put those images or you can put those files in here if you would like to. So once you have everything entered, go ahead and click update, and then you can see this student has another visit logged here. Anything else, Jody?
No, it's just a great way to keep track of those reoccurring students that like to come in. So if a parent wants to know how often their students come in to see the nurse, you've got it all documented to share that with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now we're going to head back and we're going to talk about managing that data with that visit log reports. So need a quick snapshot of student health visits from a specific date range, the health visit log query page in JMC provides organized, easy to read reports, complete with summaries by reason and action taken. With built-in print and export options, sharing data is seamless. Just select your date range, choose your sorting and summary preferences, and generate your report in seconds. So in JMC Office, navigate to Health, Visit Log Query to view a comprehensive list of student health visits. Step 1, enter the from date and to date fields to specify the range of health visits you'd like to view and click the calendar icon to select the dates. Step 2, place a check mark in the Include Student List checkbox to view each student's record within a date range. Helpful tip, select an option from the Sort List By dropdown to organize your health visit log data in order you prefer. Step 3, place a check mark in the Include Summary checkbox to add a brief or expanded summary to your list log query report. Helpful tip, select the level of detail for the summary using the Summary Options drop-down list to customize how much information is included in the visit log query report. Step 4, which is optional, place a check mark in the Include Inactive Students checkbox to include students who are no longer active in your JMC database. Step 5, click the Preview button to view your Visit Log Query Report. And then Step 6, click the Print button to print your Visit Log Query Report. Step 7, which is optional, click the Create Action Export, Create Reason Export, or Create Student List Export button to export the filtered report as a CSV file. Let's take a look at managing visit data within that Visit Log Query Report.
Okay, so again, in the health log, in the health module, under Visit Log, we're going to come to Visit Log Query. So you choose a date range. So you want to see any of the visits between, say, July 5th and August 5th. Include student list, so you can sort that by student name then date, but there's some other sorting options as well. If you want to include a summary, you can have a brief summary or you can have an expanded summary. And if you want to also include students who are no longer active, you could check this check mark or check this checkbox as well. So I'm going to click preview, and I'm going to see here that I've got a few visits during this time frame. I couldn't think of the word visit for a second. So we've got like 4 visits here, and the thing that's nice is you get this the log dates the total here. So I had 2 visits that were associated with an abrasion. I had 2 visits associated with an arm. So it breaks down that data for you a little bit down below. So those are the reasons. Here are the actions here, so I can see, you know, what are students coming in for. And then it kind of breaks it down at the bottom. So by day, on the 14th, I had 1 visit and 1 student, and so on. So it just kind of gives you an overall view of how many students are coming into the health office. This can be really helpful when looking at like the hours for a a school nurse at your school to help explain, you know, what they're doing throughout their day and so on, especially if you like share time through like a county nurse office or something like that. And then once you preview it, you can print this list. You can create an action export, so that is going to tell you the actions that you've taken. You can create a reason export, so exporting those reasons, and then student, so exporting it by student. So a couple of different ways that you can share that information if you want to create a CSV file or a PDF. Anything else on the visit log query, Jody?
No, I think it's just a great way, like you said, to track, especially if you don't have a full-time nurse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can come in and kind of see, you know, reasons why. It's like, oh, what was going on this day that all these students were coming in, or, you know, kind of track, you know, time of day of when students are coming in. If there's a, you know, if maybe it shows there's a time of day that the nurse needs to be on site more often, or, you know, kind of thing like that.
Exactly. Or if you need to request more hours, of the nurse to be there. You can say, hey, look, we have all these kids coming in. So yeah, it's a great tool. Okay. Well, I think that is it for the visit log. So now we're going to look at health history. So health history is also where you record any of those health screenings that you do throughout the year. So we'll start with entering health history records for a group of students. The health history screening feature in JMC Office makes it simple to record health assessment data for groups of students. Whether you're logging vision screenings, hearing tests, or physical exams, you can enter data in bulk based on a grade level, advisor, or course section, saving time while maintaining complete records. To begin bulk entering health assessment screenings for a group of students, go to Health, Health History Screening in JMC Office. The first step, filter students by choosing a group from the Selection Method drop-down list to narrow your health screening entries on a specific set of students. Step 2, select the appropriate grade, advisor, or course and section from the drop-down list to begin entering health screening information for your chosen group of students. Step 3, select the appropriate health screening category, such as visual acuity, hearing screening, or physical exam from the category drop-down list. Helpful tip, quickly enter health assessment information for a group of students by using the master record row or clicking the fill down button to apply consistent data across records. Step 4, place a check mark in the complete checkbox to manually mark a record as finished or let it update automatically once enough data is entered. Helpful tip, remove the checkmark from the complete checkbox if a student did not participate in the health screening, like in the case of an absence. Step 5, click the Save button to record completed health screening assessments. Fun fact, a pop-up notification will indicate how many students' health history screening records have been successfully updated. Step 6, click the Print button to create a printed copy of the health history assessment records. So we can take a live look at entering health history records for a group of students. So we'll start here from our home page again. We're going to come to our health module and we'll go to health history, edit. Oh, and we're coming to health history screenings. Health history screenings. So selection method, you can sort students by grade, by an advisor, or by a course section. I'm going to use grade and I'm going to pick 5th grade. I was trying to see if I could find something that hadn't been entered here for a while. Okay, so 5th grade, here in this master record row, this is where I select what type of screening has been done. So here's the vision screening. I'll maybe see if we've got a hearing screening up here. So we'll come to hearing. Okay, and then I can enter information up here in this master record row. So I can say that they passed left ear, and you can see that right there, that's enough data to count this record as complete. So those check marks already fill in, and same with the right ear, I can say that that's a pass and it will fill all the way down. But now let's say that Bill was absent for the day. I can just uncheck that. I can delete this information. So it's easier to just delete for one student. I could make a comment here and just say that he was absent. Or if I had one student that didn't pass, I can say, you know, maybe Lisa didn't pass. It can say it's, I can still say that it's complete, but I can say did not pass. Or a little bit easier, what if I said failed? And I can do that for one ear or both ears or whatever that is. So the this master record row is really helpful. It allows you to add a lot of data really quickly, but then it also keeps it consistent. So instead of saying pass on this one and okay and you know whatever, I know that I'm using the same language all the way down for all of the students. So now I'm going to save that. Hearing records were completed for 18 students. So this is just a great double check, like, okay, I've got 19 students in 5th grade. That makes sense because I had one gone. I'm going to click OK, and that seems right for me. Okay. Anything that I'm missing here, Jody, on these screening records?
No, it's a really easy way to go in there and enter those records after you've had that screening test done.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the next thing that we're going to look at then is if you do have those students who are absent on a day that you do the screening, then how you go back and update just an individual student's record. So adding a health history record for an individual student. JMC's health module makes it easy for you to keep tabs on students' key health metrics like concussion status or vision screening. Simply select the health category you're tracking and add essential details like the exam date and additional comments. Even flag a student's health history record for easy querying or attach documents, ensuring you have all the information to provide a complete health record for each student. To edit a student's health history, go to JMC Office and navigate to Health, Health History, Edit Student Health History. Step 1, enter the student's name in the Find field to access and enter and edit their health history record. Helpful tip, select a grade from the grade drop-down list to narrow your search to students in that grade level. Step 2, click the Add Row link to create a new health history record, or click the Edit link next to an existing record to make updates. Helpful tip, click the Delete link next to a record to remove it from the student's health history. Step 3, enter the category, date, grade, and field A, B details using the appropriate fields and drop-down list to complete the health history record. Fun fact, place a checkmark in the flag checkbox to include the health history record in the health history flagged records report for easy reference. So if there are records you need to flag, if you mark that, then it's easy to run a report and you can see all those records that were flagged, so you can go back and update them as you need. And step 4 is optional. You can enter in additional details in the comments box to provide more context for the student's health history record. Step 5, click the Change File link to upload a document from your computer and attach it to the student's health history record. Helpful tip, remove a file from a student's record. To remove a file from a student's record, click the Change File link, then click the No File link to delete the attachment. Step 6, click the Update link to save your changes to the student's health history record, or click the Cancel link to discard them. And you can click the Print button to print the student's health history records or save them as a PDF for future reference. So let's take a live look here at updating just an individual student's health history record. So here I'm in the health module, I'm under health history, and I'm just going to edit a student's health history record. So I'm going to come in and I'm actually going to limit it by 5th grade because I knew I had a 5th grader gone, and now he's come back to take that hearing test. So now I just will see those 5th grade students. So it allows me to more easily find that one student who was missing. And now I can add a row. I'm going to pick that hearing test and the date. Grade's already in there for me. And here I can type now that they've passed the left ear and pass right ear. And I could make a comment here that student was absent on the date of the rest of the class of screening, or anything else that I might want to add, and I could attach a file if I want to. So this would be handy, if you're entering information about like sports physicals, and you would probably have that printout from the doctor, you could attach that sports physical information to the student right here. I'm going to go ahead and update to save my changes, and now I see that I've got a hearing screening done. I've got the vision screening done as well. Pretty simple. Anything else, Jody?
Nope, it's pretty easy.
Yeah. All right, then I think I'm handing it off to Jody to talk about the health note.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about tracking health details with JMC's Health Note. So this free-form text box allows health professionals to record important health-related details, such as medical conditions or recurring treatments, directly within a student's health record by keeping notes centralized and up to date. Schools can maintain a clear and comprehensive view of each student's health history. To enter or edit a student's health note, log into the JMC office and head to Health, Health Note, Edit Student Health Note. Step 1, enter a student's name in the Find field to begin editing a health note for a selected student. Helpful tip, select a specific grade from the grade dropdown to narrow the Find field, then use the arrows to quickly move between students. Step 2, enter or update a health note in the free-form text box beneath last updated to add new details or revise existing information for a student. Step 3, click the Save button to record your changes to the health note. Fun fact, student health notes automatically carry over from year to year unless they are edited, overwritten, or deleted, with no need to re-import them annually. Helpful tip, include the health note when printing the health reports, print health records page to provide a complete and detailed student health record. So let's take a look at tracking health details within JMC's Health Note.
Okay. So I'm going to come to the Health module, Health Note, edit student health note. And like Jody said, it's just a free-form text box. You can type in anything you want to. And the nice thing about the health note is it does just carry over year after year. So if there's just some information that you want to share about a student, it's not an emergency, doesn't need to go on an emergency, a medical emergency plan. Just some of those details that's nice to share. Those types of things are what can go here. It doesn't have a date associated with what you put in here. So if you're updating it regularly, you may want to go in and put that this was an update that I made on 8/5 or something to that effect. But this is just for information that you'd like associated with the student, but it does follow the student year after year. Pretty simple. And then you just click the save button to save your changes, and then your health note is there. I think that's a pretty simple one, Jody. What do you think?
Yeah, it's just a nice place to keep some notes if you need to regarding students that you can share year to year.
All right, and it does have the last update. The last updated date does show up there, but if you want to make sure that the notes that you made are associated with your date, it might be a good idea to date them. It's your call. You can use this however works best in your school. Okay, I think that's it for the health note.
You want me to keep going, or you want to take it?
I can take over for a little bit here. We'll talk about gathering health information during online registration. Simplify the collection of important student health information by adding custom health-related questions to your online registration process in JMC Office. These questions allow families to submit critical data such as medications, allergies, and other conditions via free text fields, medication tables, or allergy tables in JMC Family. All responses are automatically organized in the health module of JMC Office, making them easy to access and reference throughout the year. Create custom health fields by logging into JMC Office and navigating to Health Custom Fields, Define Health Fields. Step 1, click the Import button to save time by carrying over health custom field questions from the previous year into the current year's setup. Step 2, click the Add Health Custom Field link to create a new custom health question for families to complete during registration. So again, if you're a new school to JMC, you have to go ahead and add all these custom health custom field questions that first year, but then the next year you can click this import button and all of your questions will import from one year to the next. Helpful tip, click the pencil icon to edit an existing health custom field question, or click the trash can icon to delete it. Step 3, place a check mark in the current year checkbox to make the question active in JMC Family registration for the current year. Helpful tip, uncheck the current year box to remove a question from online registration while keeping it in your health custom field list. Step 4, enter a question in the name field to specify the health information you want to collect during registration. Step 5, enter information in the additional information field to provide families with extra guidance or context for answering the health custom field question. Step 6, select an option from the data type drop-down list to determine the type of response families can submit during the registration. So depending on what type of question you ask here, you can control the way in which families respond. So they can respond in text, which allows families to type a text-based question. You just provide a character limit so that you can kind of manage that response that you get. There's a numeric response you can receive, a date, a medications table. So this is a popular one. It allows families to enter the type of medication, the dose, what is for, that type of information, all in a convenient table. And the same is true of allergies. So they can put what the student is allergic to, what the allergic response is, and if there's any medications that they take. And then there's yes and no. So if it's a simple yes or no response that you want to the question that you're asking, you can just go ahead and select that data type. And the nice thing about the yes or no question, which is probably on the next slide, it is, if you use this yes or no question, you can skip to another question. So can your student take medication at school? If the parent selects no, then they don't have to answer a follow-up question about what types of medication can they take at school. They could just move on to the next question that pertains to them. Step 7, select the appropriate radio button to define the permanence of the field. So year specific means that the question resets each school year, prompting families to answer it during every online registration cycle. Or there's year independent, so that the response carries over from one year to the next, but allows families to update the answer if they need to. Step 8, click the update button to save your health custom field question, or click the cancel button to discard it. And a helpful tip, you can simply drag and drop the questions to arrange them in the order you'd like families to see during online registration. So we'll take a look here at gathering health information during online registration. So we come to our health module, health custom fields, define health fields. So here's a list of all the questions that I already have in here. I can add a new health custom field question. But one thing I'd like to point out while we're here, if you're watching this and you're a school nurse or, health professional, you might not be the person in charge of setting up online registration, but you may want to have a say in what health questions are being asked. So I would recommend reach out to your administrator, find out if you're using online registration, and then let them know that there's some questions that you would like to ask. There's specific information you'd like to get back from families during online registration, so that this can be a really collaborative experience and you can make sure you have the information you need about students before the first day of school. So if I want to add a new question here, I will check this box to make sure that it's being asked in the current year's online registration. And then in this name field, this is where I ask my question. So, does your student wear glasses? Well, I could add additional information if I needed to, and then I could get a text response back, but something like, does your student wear glasses? That could be as simple as a yes or no. We just want to know, do they, yes or no? And they could skip ahead if I was going to ask a follow-up question about glasses, but then I want to select that permanence. So it's most likely that that student is going to continue wearing glasses for a while. So we could select year independent, which means that yes answer will carry over year after year, but it does allow parents to be able to change that answer to a no in subsequent years online registration if they want to. So once you have your question the way that you want it, go ahead and click update. And then you can take these questions and drag and drop them so that they appear in the order that you want them to appear when parents go to answer them during the online registration process. So pretty simple, but it's a really effective way of getting those details that you need at the beginning of the year. And I know one thing that we'll often stress is keep this simple. You don't need to ask a million questions. Oftentimes school nurses will need to follow up with students taking medications and whatnot anyway. So, simple questions like, what would you like us to know about your students' physical or mental health for the upcoming school year? And then, does your student take medications? And, maybe some of these questions are a phone call that you got to follow up if you need like a signed doctor form or whatever that might be. But if you give parents a lot of questions to answer, sometimes they'll start tuning it out and clicking through them quickly and not responding as thoughtfully as you would like. Anything else, Jody, about asking these health custom field questions?
No, I think you handled it exactly the way I would. Just make sure you reach out to whoever does your online reg, because that's where the setup is, and a little bit more detailed of getting this all put together for that online reg.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And then, I think we're finishing up here with printing health records. Do you want to talk about the health records, Jody?
Sure. So make the most of JMC's health module by printing or exporting a wide range of information, including immunization records, student health history, health notes, medical emergency plans, medications, and visit logs from the Print Health Records page in JMC Office. Customize the data you include and sort reports by your preference to quickly access the student health information you need, all from one convenient page. So print and export student health records by logging into JMC Office and heading to Health Reports, Print Health Records. Step 1, choose the appropriate radio button in the select box to filter which student health records to print.
Yeah, so the options you've got up here, sequential, which you just put in a student ID range. By random allows you to select individual students. By grade is by grade level, and then you can also select by advisor.
Step 2, place a checkmark in the appropriate checkbox box to select which health records to include for the selected students.
Yep, so again, you've got all of the options that we've already talked about. So those immunizations, health history, so those screening records we talked about. If you want to include the health note, the medical emergency plan, medications, and visit log, it's up to you what you want to include, or maybe you're being asked to include certain details from a school that a student may be transferring to. But you have all these options to include on the health record if you want to.
And then step 3, if the report includes the visit log, use the visit log sort order drop down list to sort entries by reason, date, or time. Then step 4, click the preview button to view a report of the customized student health records. Step 5, click the print button to print the health report, or select an export option to save it as a CSV file.
Yeah, and this is similar to those visit log queries. You can just export it with like a different emphasis. So you can export it with an immunization grid, an immunization list, or exporting it by health history. All right, so we can take a live look here at printing the health records. And I think I put Jody on the spot here by having her do the health records. Sorry, Jody.
No, that's okay.
Okay, so under our health module, we are going to come to reports and print health records. So again, you can put in a range of student ID numbers. Maybe you just have one student transferring to a different school and you need to print their record. So I'm going to choose Abby here. We've been picking on Abby throughout this whole webinar here. And we've got immunizations, health history. Maybe I do want to include my visit log, and then I can sort how I want those entries to show up. Or maybe I don't want medical emergency plan. Whatever it is that you want to include, just check that box here. Then you can preview it. And if you select by grade level and then you preview, you'd see all of the students. But if you went to print it, it would print one student per page. It wouldn't run them all together. But right away here, I can see the immunizations, I can see the health history, medical emergency plans, I can see the medications and the visits as well. So all the information here, I can print it, which allows me to send it to the printer or save it as a PDF, or like we said, you've got those export options to export it to a CSV file. And that's kind of it for those health records. Anything else, Jody?
Nope, I think we covered it.
Okay. And believe it or not, Jody, I think that we are at the end. Yeah, it's a lot of information in the health module. It's a really powerful tool, but if you use it, I think you will be happy with it. It helps you really stay on top of medications, stay on top of those visits. If a parent calls, you're kind of, covering yourself by taking those detailed notes. So on behalf of myself and Jody, thank you for attending this webinar, and thank you for choosing JMC.